You learn or notice something new. Let's say it's a new word, a fact about someone famous, or a detail about your living situation. And suddenly you start seeing it everywhere. You hear that word in a song. You see that fact in an ad. You see that detail in your friend's apartment. What's going on? Are you losing your mind? Not quite. You're experiencing the Baader-Meinhof Phenomenon. And while it might feel like your reality is shifting on its axis, it's really just your brain doing what brains do. The Baader-Meinhof Phenomenon is also known as the frequency illusion, or the new car blind spot. Have you ever bought a brand new car only to see that same car everywhere for weeks? That's the new car blind spot. And it happens with everything from names and words to car models, songs, numbers. Pretty much anything you can think of. So, why does this happen? It's not because the thing you noticed is actually appearing more often in the world. It's because your brain is noticing it more. So, let's go back to that example. Let's say you just learned that the population of Tokyo is over 14 million people. Then you're in your friend's apartment and you see a framed photo of Tokyo. Your brain doesn't think, oh, look at that, a 14 million people. It thinks, oh, look at that, a framed photo. But because you just learned about the population of Tokyo, your brain has primed you to notice the number 14 when you see it again later on. This is called selective attention. Your brain is more likely to notice things that are relevant to your goals or your recent thoughts. And this makes sense from an evolutionary perspective. If you ray out hunting and your brain starts paying attention to every leaf that falls within a certain radius, you might notice a twig snap. And if you're always paying attention to the number of leaves on trees, you might notice that some trees have no leaves at all, and they are actually the perfect camouflage for a hungry lion. In both cases, you've survived another day on the savannah, which means you got to pass on your genes and therefore your brain's ability to selectively pay attention to things. But this also leads to confirmation bias, because once you notice those two naked branches, you're probably going to start noticing more naked branches. Why? Because every time you see a tree, your brain is going to mentally categorize it as leafy or not leafy. And if it's not leafy, you're going to notice it because you're looking for non-leafy trees. This is how the frequency illusion happens. It's not that the thing you noticed is appearing more frequently. It's that your brain is now primed to notice it more frequently. And this happens because our brains filter out most of the information that we receive every day. If we didn't, we'd be overwhelmed and unable to function. So instead, our brains focus on what's relevant to us right now. And relevance is determined by a variety of factors, including our goals, our interests, our fears, and our recent thoughts. And once our brains have filtered out all the irrelevant information, we're left with the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon. It might feel like coincidence that you're seeing the same car everywhere, but it's not. It's just your brain doing what brains do. They take in information, filter out the irrelevant stuff, and then send the rest of us humans who are trying to make sense of the world. It can feel like the universe is sending you signs, but it's not. It's your focus that has changed, not the world. And this happens all the time, especially when we're talking to other people. You might notice that one of your friends has a really distinctive laugh, and after you've noticed it a few times, you start hearing that laugh everywhere. You're at a party and you hear that laugh from across the room. You're watching TV and there's a character on the screen who has the exact same laugh. You're scrolling through social media and you come across a video with that exact same laugh. It can feel like the universe is obsessed with your friend's laugh, but it's not. It's just your brain doing what brains do. In fact, this happens all the time in everyday conversations. You might start talking to someone about your weekend plans and they mention that they're going to a new restaurant. Then you start hearing about this restaurant everywhere. Your friends are talking about it. Your co-workers are talking about it. Your favorite influencers are talking about it. It can feel like everyone is talking about this restaurant, but that's not true. You're just noticing more conversations about this restaurant because you've recently started planning your weekend. So, next time you experience the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, remember that it's not a coincidence. It's not the universe sending you signs. It's just your brain doing what brains do, filtering out the irrelevant information and sending you what's left. And that's why you start seeing the same car everywhere. Thank you for watching this video. If you want to learn more about how your brain works, we have lots of other videos on our channel. And if you're curious about the research behind this phenomenon, we'll put a link to it in the description below.